Greg, that was actually one of the only compliments I've gotten, and I actually didn't hear it because I was like doing something, not even doing something else. I was just far away from the microphone.
That must have been Ivan. I wasn't talking, so.
I'm talking about 8 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So in regards to the 11 sources, so the reason you're referring to that, are you talking about those would explain how to protect yourself on a 90% downturn?
It is specifically this. This is not the first time that they have mugged people. And when I say mug, I mean financially rape people. This is a playbook play since central banks were engineered. And I'm not talking engineered with thermodynamics. I'm talking about financially engineered. This is your first mugging. I have been mugged 3 times. The first time I was mugged, I was ready because I understood verbal self-defense because I play a sport. So the first time I got mugged was not the first time I got mugged. The reason the third time was the last time that I got mugged is now every mugger knows, because muggers have mugged people. You are not their first person. And when a mugger smells me walking, they say that person is not impossible to mug, but that person is going to be a difficult target. The value of this room is that economic hitmen, that is a thing. And when you say do the math, you forgot yesterday's conversation. Ivan, well, sorry, I have to cite and source. You forgot yesterday's Confessions of a Hitman, okay? You forgot that because this is playbook play since time began, which is asset repossession. And playbook play, how do we unprint the money? When money dies, Adam Ferguson. Playbook play, Neil Howe, The Fourth Turning. And remember, Ivan, before you started to spend 6 hours in a one-way monologue where I would not talk 75% of the time because I would make you do homework. Greg, I heard part of your compliment. I didn't hear, yeah. But it was right there in front of you, which was give them enough rope to choke, because Greg just asked the question that you just had. And then Rajwinder said, lost my Bitcoin in a boating accident, like 75th time the joke. It's funny, okay? But if you can't like cold store in a hard wallet with additive security with 3 of 5 distributed SIG, okay? While also hiding enough of a lifetime of money, if you've got 175 lifetimes of money, right? Like a person who's going to own an NFL team, you can't do additive security, which is why you guys moved the needle towards bankruptcy the wrong way, because you forgot give them enough rope to choke, which is the answer to Greg's question immediately right after, because Greg was starting to put the pieces together. Because what Greg's asking, which is a genius question. Greg, will you repeat your question for a 4th time? Because the reason I'm just repeating the question is because this is the value of all your clubhouse rooms combined times 8. And pen to paper down in the audience. I almost want to pay you to put pen to paper, but I don't want to break NCAA rules and regulations in case one of you is a Stanford athlete and I haven't done the full character compass and third-party data audit. So I can't give you money to take notes to give you more money. So take this money, please, from Greg.
So the question was, how do you protect your collateralized loans that you get off of your assets for the inevitable downswings that occur based on past history, up to 70%, so that your assets don't go into default and they're not able to, I guess, repossess your assets and you're in trouble.
Trouble, right? Trouble. You guys ready for the answer? Is this enough 8 play for the answer?
Yeah, I'd love to hear the answer.
Do you get it? I doubled the 4 play, 8 play. I hear people laughing in the audience. It's supposed to be funny. Why is it supposed to be funny? Because financial literacy, not my first rodeo. I grinded people through credit scores. And finance and literacy, it's hard as AF. It's hard. The reason Greg's question is genius is because right before that, I was on pins and needles for Ivan and Tingley, pins and needles, and then transferred to Tingley. Give them enough rope to choke themselves. Give them enough rope to choke themselves. Greg put it together and asked his genius question, which thankfully you wrote down. If you write down Greg's question and look at it twice a day, that is more valuable than me getting a baseball scholarship offered to Dartmouth, West Point, University of Illinois, and Stanford combined. Why? Because you can only go play D1 baseball once. The reason I read the source code is because I cared about the source code. Greg's question, if you forget it, you will be hurt. We all have people that will help us spend money that we make. And if that's not true, then good, because then you will not go bankrupt, because you need to pretend like you lost it in a boating accident. Rajwinder, you like how I play bingo and listen? Why? Because when you take this shit fiat that they lend you, you're going to get a gain. In fact, sometimes you're going to get a massive gain. The marshmallow test, page 218, Benoit Mandelbrot. Do you see how I've DJ'd together 17 things while saying the word marshmallow, which is a test? You give a kid a marshmallow, and 15 minutes later, you say, look, I'll give you 3 marshmallow if you don't eat this one. And then if you come back in 15 minutes, you give them 3. But the little kid, if they're from a poor family, they eat the marshmallow automatically. That's the marshmallow test. So the give them enough rope to choke, when Bitcoin pumps from the level that it's at when you borrow it at 3x the shit fiat rate, it's going to be $1.8 million, and it's going to pump to $4 million. What are you going to do with your gain? Because remember, when sales double, receivables triple. Counterintuitively, which you will only know after you've personally run audits on thousands of people, is that when you give people enough rope, they always mug themselves because they've never been mugged before. And I'm not mixing two metaphors because that's what they're doing to you. They're going to mug you before you choke yourself. So you're going to be choking on oxygen while they mug you. And if you don't write that down, then Greg's 7 hours will have been flushed down the toilet, because I've been living up Greg's ear hole. It's not fun. I weigh 240 pounds. Granted, I'm tall enough to stretch it all out, right? Actually, now I'm down to like 228, but it cycles. That doesn't feel good to Greg, okay? He's been getting hammered. Ivan is getting hammered. Rajwinder is a prince to even hang out with us. And for Rajwinder to be a moderator and to Rajwinder, I'm gonna send you the answers. You don't have to wait 2 weeks. I'll send you it over Twitter. I won't even hide it. I'll give it to you because I remember. You're a saint. You're a saint. This gives me goosebumps. Why? If when sales double, receivables triple, it reads, when you're getting choked by yourself, the muggers will come. That's straight out of chapter 6, The Economic Hitman. And while I take a bow as there's thunderous applause, because I just gave you $2 million for free. You just now need to get positive if you're net worth negative. It's not embarrassing, okay? I've never been net worth negative, but it turns out this guy named Chris Sacca used to be net worth negative. So commiserate with him. Get a Twitter account. First thing you do is say something nice to Chris Sacca. If you're too lazy to write it down, okay, fuck you. So when sales double, receivables triple. Guess what? Levered Bitcoin, when it spikes from $1.8 million and it pumps to 4, okay? In Michael Saylor 3.0, okay? Some central bank is like, you know what? I went to college with that Larry Chang. He gave me this playbook play and he told me to fuck off, even though I offered him $500,000 per hour because his rate currently is 28.8. So I offered him $500,000 per second. True story on Clubhouse. A guy that already knew me but couldn't put Larry and Chang together because I wasn't 6'5" at a party. He goes, wow, you're really good. You should come work for me. You should come be a VC. I am a VC, you fuckhead. But I didn't say that. I was like, wow, thank you. I'll come in as an intern. He's like, whatever title you want, I'm paying you $500,000. If you think that these things are me bragging, it's me documenting prior Clubhouse work of paying attention, taking notes, moving ahead. 1.8 to 4 million because a Michael Saylor 3.0 pumped it, okay? Some central bank adopts Bitcoin so that way its citizens will never have to pay tax ever again, right? Is that good news for you? No, it's actually not good news because that country's gonna get blown, and not like oral sex on a Saturday night blown, which fingers crossed, right? I'm talking about like some dark game theory stuff, because remember when that dog barked at me? I didn't lose a beat. Neither did Tom Brady. Okay? Friends with the human. He's a mentor. Friends with the dog. My dog's also a mentor. He was getting screamed at, and I actually brought it back to the room. And then I got muted in my own room, dropping knowledge bombs, right? While I'm screenshotting notes and reading bios. Do you know how hard it is to speak and moderate and research at the same time? It's super not easy, right? But I care enough of you guys to take notes because I care, right? I care about your money. Do you guys feel that or no? I care about your money. Do you guys feel that or no? Because I can stop at any time. This isn't like, I can stop at any time.
Yeah. I can feel that you're trying to be as helpful as possible and help us save our money. Yeah.
The key, the critical key, Greg, is that when you gain money, you have to do what Rajwinder said, which is lie to your wife, lie to your girlfriend who lives in Miami. You have to lie to your girlfriend who lives in New York, because nobody likes a $20 million millionaire who is currently worth $2 billion, who doesn't share the money. Greg, are you married?
Yeah, I know. I didn't follow any of what you just said, but it sounds interesting. I wrote it all down.
This is what happens, is if you would have lost your Bitcoin in a boating accident, you couldn't spend your gain. Because once you spend your gain, that's the rope and you're choking. Because you have now, grab your butts. It's gonna get bumpy. Is everybody grabbing their butts? In fact, everybody sit up straighter, okay? We're going to thank, not Larry Chang, okay? We're gonna thank a handful of people. And if you don't want to participate, okay, fuck off, because people died. And I might cry because people died to give you this information. I don't know why you can't put pen to paper. I don't know why you don't text me notes, okay? I don't know why. That's why I leave my cell phone number hanging out there, okay? It's, if you think I'm trying to steal your phone, okay, by having you, yeah. Or email my full name at ProtonMail. So we're going to sit up, we're going to arch our back, we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose. People died. Out through the mouth. People died to give you this information. When you kill yourself, you don't get to go to heaven. So that's why I'm gonna have a fucking +1 or +17, because that's what I do, okay? I care. And I'm sorry, Roy Raymond, okay? I was 2 years old, and you went to Stanford Business School, and you went to engineering school, and you still died doing a pretty fucking good business, okay? A pretty fucking good business called Victoria's Secret. And now, thank you for that, and thank you for letting me do the decentralized Victoria's Secret fashion show, because, I mean, I love boobs, and I love women, and I like when women with boobs want to help me with being an entrepreneur, right? And your fashion show, it got canceled because ugly people that didn't do the work wanted to participate. So I'll just decentralize it. Who else helped? Glad you asked. I need to remind myself to breathe. Jerry Detweiler. She helped me start my first business. When I tried to start a business with her, I was trying to make too many people happy, and we went bankrupt. Well, we didn't go bankrupt. We just didn't succeed because our time preferences were under the gun. She had just had a child and she needed to go in one direction, only up. So now I do 5-way proprietorships. 5-way proprietorships are this. You start a business, you don't incorporate it, you can't go bankrupt. It's a 5-way proprietorship. You just do better, okay? How many founders have been fired in Silicon Valley? Sequoia website, they fired everybody on their website. I shouldn't laugh but I'm the VC you call when your shit's fucked up, okay? This is not my first rodeo of bailing out a piece of shit. And also to some of the people up on stage, not Rajwinder, okay? Fuck you for dropping the ball with CS183 edit, okay? External API with CS183 law, like that's free money, and all you do is spend more time on Clubhouse. Well, not you, Greg. So we pretty much narrowed it down. All you do is spend more time on Clubhouse versus executing the executions that I even had. FU might be strong, so let me rephrase it to be fucking fuck you, because I'm trying to give you this money. Jerry Detweiler helping me with the red pill truth of you get a person to a FICO score. I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny because it actually applies to why it's going to 50 million, yet people still manage to go bankrupt, right? Which is also Greg's question, which is genius. Good job, Greg. Greg, do you want me to use your last name in a shout out or no? Because I'm shouting you.
I have no idea what shout out is.
Like a compliment or a praise. Just like your compliment for me, which you won't repeat, but I valued it because I haven't gotten a compliment in like forever.
Well, just know you're getting compliments without even people saying it, because they're going on in everybody's mind. You're doing a great job.
Wow. What's your last name? Do you want me to be public with it, or do you want to just be secret? Just GP.
I don't care.
Okay, just GP. Oh, Greg Pace. Once you spend the gains, that's the rope. So the 3 things into these now 13 things, if you're taking notes, is what Ivan said, give them enough rope to choke. Rajwinder said, get in a boating accident and don't drown, but don't, or something. Boating, yachting, never get a boat. It's just a full-time job that you don't get paid, that actually you gotta pay to have. And then you sell your boat and then you're happy. Which is, once you spend the money, now you've taken away runway. Now you've taken away oxygen. When venture capitalists say they don't have enough runway, it's because they're spending too much money. I'm the guy who does CS183 edit along with CS183 law. If you haven't been in this room 4 hours with us back when it was a monologue, you don't deserve this dialogue. But I will repeat that in case you're going to write it down. CS183 law, computer science 183 law. Laws like law and order, and external API, not just a regular external API. On Twitter, hashtag external API. Maybe those are 2 jargon-filled words, but I made it as simple as possible, but no simpler. Who said that? Both Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein. Larry Chang, semi-professional physicist, now dabbling in running money, where I have 650 hashtags for money. Giving them enough rope to choke themselves works like this. Any kind of gain, if even a nickel of it gets spent, they will go bankrupt. which is why Saylor, which is back on topic to the room. Saylor took something from $50,000 to $50 million, and he did not go bankrupt. Ditto Larry Chang, except I'm a little more resourceful because I did it with $5, which is also on my bio, which a lot of you didn't screenshot, print out to read, because that bio, okay, think of it as a snap face Instatot. I'm going to eventually remove that bio, and that information will be gone, just like a fraternity brother's Snapchat. Kappa Sig! Kappa Sig! Yeah, I joined a white fraternity. What? That's not racist. It's a fraternity. I don't see it as white. I see it as earthlings, and I'm visiting, okay? Kappa Sig, if that offends you, like, I'm sorry that Kappa Sig is the best fraternity. Although, Brendan Beck, since you're watching these, you creepy creepsters, Ryan is a best friend. Look at my Twitter feed, because I met Ryan's kid, who's Brendan's dad, and Tristan's his brother. I met Tristan, and I learned something from Tristan. I learned so much from Tristan, just like I learned so much from Greg, that I pinned his tweet to my Twitter. We're not going to take a break. We should take a break, but I'm going to finish this out so that way this is the value of all the other Clubhouse rooms that you've ever been to. And I'm aware that you spent 15 minutes with Elon Musk, which is why he's the person that I follow, because as Larry Chang being his mentee. Oh, back to Tristan. The 5th time that I took math class was the first time you took it. Does this sound familiar with the mugging? Okay, the first time I got mugged, the 3rd time I got mugged. It did not end well for the dude who mugged me the 3rd time. I'm a killer, okay? Like a killer, like a predator killer. But I also am like my mentee, now mentor, Tom Brady. He goes from killer, which is like, actually in the NFL, they're literally trying to kill you. The 5th time I took math class was the first time you took math class. Just getting water. Did I put myself on mute? I was screaming while I was getting water.
Yeah, you did.
I forgot because I hit mute, and then I went and got water, and then I was screaming stuff, and I'm like, did I hit mute? The 5th time I took math class was the first time you took it. I just gave you another secret of why every Chinese person that you've ever met is great at math. That's on my Twitter. Because Tristan, the first time he took CS 106A is the first time he took it with Jerry. And you should be scared that I know Stanford classes better than Stanford students, because I went to the University of Illinois. Let me repeat that. When you Google Larry Chang, you're gonna think that I taught there. I must have gone there, right? No. I learned Stanford stuff better than Stanford people. That's not arrogant, that's just a body of work. And then I did the prequel, and then I did the sequel. And so people will be like, hey, I hear you teach at Stanford. If I know you, can I teach at Stanford? Like, oh my, where's your body of work? Everybody wants to teach at Stanford, right? It really helps your VC career. Then what did I do? I decentralized it, didn't I? Just like the fashion show. Once you spend the money, you are fucked, okay? Not just kind of fucked where Larry's just gonna do a wet willy where I lick my index finger and then put it in Greg's ear in a time of beer virus, right? Plus, Greg's gonna be like, hey dude, this is the first time we talked. Like, thank you for all the free money. But like, you putting saliva on your finger and then putting it in a double wet willy, like, that's semi-unforgivable, right? Once you spend that money, you are screwed. So is this my first rodeo of not spending money? No, because people will test you. Old people that don't understand Bitcoin, right? They will test you by giving you money and seeing what you do with it. The reason I have so much money is because time preference, page 218, misbehavioral markets, and marshmallow test. Because this was my 35th red pill, which was this. When you get people who are poor to a FICO score of 800, you actually lock them in for 500 because they ruin their credit because their parents or grandparents used their perfect credit to ruin more credit. Is that, how counterintuitive is that? I gave you good credit and it actually ruins your family? Counterintuitive, but true. I actually got to speak to the Congressional Black Caucus because the clear problem was clear and I solved it and I continue to solve it. I actually have a presentation called How to Do What Larry Chang Does Without Having to Pay Larry Chang. My company, it does Duck9. That presentation is called, wait for it, How to Do What Duck9 Does Without Having to Hire Duck9. The truths are out there, okay? And sometimes executives, they need somebody to call to kill. Call to kill. Why? When they do business, most people won't tell them who they are or they'll work as an alias. Look at Clubhouse. Some people work here as an alias. Why? Because they think that that's a format of security. This is the opposite. That's why that's my real cell phone. That is engineered. I'm playing a game and winning in a game that you don't even know exists. Do you think I'm stupid? People will tell me sometimes, they're like, hey, you know, you're revealing your cell phone number. Like, any money touching my phone, I'm ready to lose. And this is the other whopper. Any fiat touching the internet, get ready to lose. This is not my first bankruptcy avoidance. Back on topic, we're at $1.8 million per Bitcoin. We're now going to go to 50 million. People will go bankrupt because people are going to help you spend money. Once you spend a nickel, you are screwed. And what's worse is when you're getting mugged on top of choked by choking yourself and then now mugged, is you're running low on oxygen and you haven't been through the Naval Academy course on how to make really good decisions using tunnel vision as you're moments away from dying. True story. Annapolis, they don't have a baseball program. West Point did, but I checked it out just because I'm like, if I'm gonna sign up for like a service academy, maybe I should do a different one. Turns out they don't have baseball. The first year, they drown you, and then they make you do math while drowning. That's what you guys signed up for when you got orange pilled. And maybe you're not orange pilled. Maybe you like some altcoin. If you have not practiced drowning and surviving, drowning and thriving, getting mugged and winning, being tested by enough rope to choke. Give them enough rope to choke. There's two sides to it. There's the choker, there's the person who's giving you the rope, and the person who is in possession of the rope. There's two sides to that equation. This is the game within a game. Give them enough rope to choke should almost be a sequel, Clubhouse Room, which I will write down because it's that important. And also, I commend so many of you for staying so focused in kind of a weird room, right? This room's weird as fuck. Give them enough rope to choke. I'm gonna say Stanford University, not to impress you, but because it happened at Stanford University, and because Stanford University is different from any other university in the Pac-12. It used to be the Pac-8, and it used to be the Pac-10, but now it's the Pac-12. Or did I mess up that joke? It's the best college in the world by 5,000. And I'm sure that you went to and know of people that went to the MIT of Massachusetts, MIT. Distant second. We could argue, or you can take what Stanford and MIT do, which is promote nobodies from nowhere. But it only seems like they're nobodies from nowhere, because in reality, they passed every marshmallow test. They passed every, let's give them enough rope to see if they choke. They didn't come out of nowhere. They survived every test. And I wrote about this, but I didn't even know that it was enough rope to choke, because I just talked about it as the 28 inflection points of Larry Chang en route to teaching. There's 28 inflection points. So that's why I laughed so hard when people were like, hey, you're teaching. Can you recommend me as a teacher? There is no boys club. There is no secret society. There is no us versus them, because it's a freaking free-for-all. And I know that you could think incorrectly that I have a tinfoil hat on. It is not a tinfoil hat. It's actually a 7 7/8 baseball hat. There is no boys club. It's just the monetary energy of how thermodynamics works. Because that enough rope to choke, that's just energy. And if you can't manage energy, and let's say you don't want to go back and study high school chemistry, high school physics, then that's your lack of proof of work. But maybe I can summarize some of those proof of work concepts in a way that will help you never be bankrupt. Being
Another bad touch. Didn't mean to be rude.
Oh no, thanks for coming back. In the rope it's not an analogy. It's a monetary stored energy. It's a form of pattern recognition. Once you spend a portion of it, you're screwed. The 28 inflection points, how do they work? An organization will try to get you to choke yourself because they can't just get rid of you because you're decentralized, right? They need to get rid of you. The way they do it is by transferring either money or power. That's it every time. And once you overstep, once you get appointed moderator and you mess up, you've choked yourself. And on this platform, you kind of can't be moved down, but you should be moved down when you flub up, okay? And by flub up, I mean triple fuck up. Giving them enough rope to choke is, Larry, you have been hijacking in a value-added way. Thank you. You've been hijacking in a value-added way Stanford Entrepreneur Week. Like all the people want to do is Larry Chang events. And we opened it up, but we didn't think that you would be 90% of our media PR. So why don't you chair it, right? That's enough rope to choke a country. Larry Chang, chairperson, Stanford Entrepreneur Week. Guess how I passed that test? Via an inflection point. I didn't spend any of the currency. I divvied it up. Ditto teaching. Do you think I talked at every lecture 100%? Which is weird because here I do. No. Guess what I did? I got last year's Engineering 145 students technology entrepreneurship that were good to teach this year's. Because initially, when they asked me to teach it, enough rope to choke, they said, hey, Larry, come teach this. You seem like a smart person. At the time, they weren't saying the smartest person that I've ever met. But they were saying, you seem decently smart, and you seem friendly, and you seem to know your stuff, so come teach it. That's the rope. This is the non-choke. Tom Kosnick, Tom Byers, you guys are crazy. You guys have been at the Stanford Women in Business, and also I was the only male speaker. You are amazing, Larry Chang. You're amazing. Like you should come not only just speak at class, you should teach class. That's the rope. This is the non-choke. Tom Byers, Tom Kosnick, like you guys have been here the whole time. Like you guys are fun people. We should hang. That's why you should come teach class, Larry. Okay? We could hang out like this all the time. Which is scary because I actually don't drink, but I can act drunk, obviously. They're like, you should come teach class. Have you heard? Like, and I said, what class? I'm like, Engineering 145. Have you heard of it? This is every VC's sex dream. Not even wet dream. Like, double cum, multiple org, tidal wave of cum. Wet dream. Kind of wet dream. It's not not safe for work because it's specific, because wet dream doesn't do it justice. I said, yeah, I've heard of Engineering 145, like technology entrepreneurship, Randy Commissar's class. Remember, I'm passing the test as if a cocktail party can make you a millionaire. Because if you Google Larry Chang, cocktail party can make you a millionaire, all of my students at Engineering 145, they treated every cocktail party that I ever brought them to, one, no alcohol. You touch alcohol, okay, I am dead to you. Because I don't care if you're 25, but you can't be liquored as a 24-year-old grad student when other people have to go through this emotional difficulty as a 19-year-old sober. You can't be older and drunk. So you want to come and you're a grad student, you got to be sober, no alcohol. And obviously if you're 20, okay, Stanford lets you drink, but Larry Chang, no drinking. So you got to ace the cocktail party, because at cocktail parties at Silicon Valley, you could make $1 million in a second, but then they'll blow the marshmallow test, right? Tom Kosnick, Tom Byers go, you should teach class. What class? Technology entrepreneurship, hashtag ENGR145. I went ahead and took notes for you because I care. I care enough that I try to sell it to other non-Stanford people. Anyway, not few people bought. It's just MIT, Duke, and like rich douchey people who are like, oh, free money, thank you. I'll even send you a thank you card. Is that how monetary energy works for Karma, chapter 8? Hashtag CH8. I can't teach a class, Tom and Tom, that I never fucking took, okay? I went to the University of Illinois, okay? I didn't take that exotic class that's sexy. And they looked at each other and goes, Tom Byers says to Tom Kosnick and points to Tom Kosnick, that's what Tom Kosnick said to me when I asked him to teach. And then they knew that they wanted to have me teach. And I didn't teach. I took the class. I never choked myself. Most people who have no time preference, they'd be like, cool, I'm teaching, don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna bring on 3 VCs that also don't know what they're talking about. Sound familiar? Does it sound like Clubhouse? It does, right? It does. But that's only Stanford, Larry. What about some money examples? Interesting that you say that, okay? Interesting that you say that. Because, oh, Brady. Interesting that you say that because this is a money example that I actually went ahead and documented because I was getting interrogated. This is juicy. In fact, everybody breathe and relax. Set the pen down, okay? Forget about the paper. Just relax and enjoy the story that will kill 5 birds with 1 stone. And also, I'm gonna record this on YouTube so that way you'll own it.
Hey Larry, I gotta go take care of something. I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, I'll record it for you, Rajwinder. Thank you so much for being like 3 hours patient.
Anytime, Larry. See you later.
No, not anytime, just special times. Because if you say anytime, I might take you up on that offer.
I know you'll be careful.
What if I got a test of money? Because this is how to pass specifically the money test. And that works exactly like this. Tim O'Reilly wanted to test me because I was doing after parties. I was running his conference for him using something I don't know if I've ever mentioned before called an external API. Basically doing his stuff better than him. And so finally he's like, what the fuck? Like, what am I dealing with? This is right before the external API comes inside. I'm gonna go ahead and give Larry Chang an official party designation worth well over a lot of money, okay? Free. $1 million? Like, this is the event, Web 2 Summit, at the St. Regis Hotel. That alone is giant, okay? So let's say you're horrible at monetization. Let's say it's only $100,000. It's more, but let's just call it $100,000. Tim O'Reilly gives me a free $100,000 in the same way that later on, when I ran the same gambit at the Hollywood Hotel for the Oscars, Paul, it was the same thing. That's right around the corner from your house, right? How cool is that? The Larry Chang after party, Sunset Hotel with the after party at the Mondrian. I've been running external APIs for a while. Tim O'Reilly, O'Reilly Media, he ran an external API to Sun Microsystems by writing the Sun Microsystems operating manual without consent of Scott McNealy. So Tim O'Reilly, he knows an external API executor when he sees one. He doesn't call it an external API, but now he's going to try to get me not to off myself, but to financially kill myself. He gives me the Web 2 Summit after party at the St. Regis Hotel. Bay Area prices are insane, but the St. Regis is insane. Guess what I did with it? He gives me at least $100,000, right? Because there's margin in getting something for free and then selling it. Guess what I did when Tim O'Reilly tried to give me enough rope to choke myself? Nobody's gonna guess. You can guess over text or full name Larry Chang at Proton Mail because it pops. Hot women hitting up my phone to invite me to shit. This is the story of my life. Like, I'm asking for interaction and all I get are sexual sex. Thank you for the sexual invitation. I shall seriously consider your offer. Questions still on the table. Guess what I did with the free money? I'm actually going to say yes to the sexual innuendo. Just so that way everyone knows that I'm not... Yes. I can text like a hot girl. Just one-word answers after long paragraphs. So, yes. Guess what happened? You can text a guess. Tim O'Reilly hands me Web2 Summit at the St. Regis Hotel. This actually matters to this room because Tim O'Reilly is Bitcoin and he's just giving you $100,000. Are you gonna go, what are you gonna do with it? Because write this down. You know what? Stop relaxing. Write this down. Suppressed volatility. It's got to go somewhere. Because that's why I said yes to the girl. Is if I said no, okay, she's gonna be like, fuck that guy. I'm gonna make him say yes. That's big problems. These are Larry Chang problems. But if you say yes and then you flake a little, but then show a little neediness, then she'll flex, and then when she flexes, that's my opportunity to OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, escape. Suppressed volatility always shows up. Suppressed volatility, it always shows up. Guess what I did with the Tim O'Reilly money? So now I'm on mute on Clubhouse, but this is what happened. On VentureBeat, I was like, hey, Tim O'Reilly gave me an after party. So what is Tim's gift to me is my gift to the world, and I gave it away. And I did such a good job giving away his gift that he just gave me more. Genius, right? I'm totally okay with not having guests and also not talking, and like my likelihood of going bankrupt is okay. This isn't me driving.
Could I answer?
Oh, that's even better. You're gonna answer it. Even better.